This fish never made it home. It died in the bag on the passenger seat. And the person who bought it did everything right. They asked the employee, they followed the advice, they trusted the label. The label lied. Here's the thing nobody says out loud about PetSmart's fish section. There are fish in those tanks right now that are genuinely excellent. Hardy, peaceful, beautiful fish that will thrive in a beginner tank for years. And there are fish in those exact same tanks that are biological time bombs, sold confidently, labeled incorrectly, and designed by the retail system to fail on a schedule that brings you back to buy a replacement. Today, I'm going through every tier, F to S, the disasters, the traps, the hidden gems, and the one fish in that entire store that I believe every beginner should be buying, that almost nobody does, because it doesn't look impressive enough under the fluorescent lights. That fish is going to be the last thing I tell you. And once I explain why the store doesn't push it, you're going to understand exactly how this whole system works. Let's go! Before we start the tier list, one thing I need you to understand. PetSmart is not evil. It is a business. A business with a fish section run by employees who are trained in retail, not aquatic biology. A business whose restocking model functions perfectly whether your fish lives 6 years or 6 days. That is not a conspiracy. That is just math. The responsibility for knowing what you're buying sits entirely with you. That's the whole reason this video exists. F tier, the traps. These aren't just bad choices, they're structural lies. F tier number 1, the common goldfish. The common goldfish is the most successfully marketed lie in the history of the pet industry. 30 cents at a fair, $2 at PetSmart, sold in bowls, given as prizes, recommended to children as a first pet. Here is what the 30-cent price tag is not telling you. The common goldfish, Carassius auratus, is a cold water carp. In proper conditions, it grows to over 12 inches and lives for 20 to 25 years. 25 years. You are not buying a starter fish. You are signing a 25-year biological commitment that requires a minimum 75-gallon tank, a serious filtration system, and more water volume than most people's first apartment had in total. Here's what happens when you put one in a bowl. The fish does not stop growing. The external body may slow, but the internal organs keep developing, compressed into a space they weren't designed for. The result is a condition called stunting, organ failure, a slow, suffocating decline in a container of its own concentrated waste. Goldfish produce more ammonia per body weight than almost any other commonly sold fish. In an unfiltered bowl, the water becomes toxic within 48 hours of the first feeding. The fish isn't dying because you did something wrong. It's dying because the container it was sold in was never compatible with its biology for a single day. F tier, the most successful trap in the store. F tier number 2, the common Pleco. Walk past any tank at PetSmart and you'll see one, 3 inches long, pressed flat against the glass. The employee says, algae eater. The label says, algae eater. It looks cute and useful and small. Write this down. The common Pleco, Pterygoplictus pardalis, reaches 24 inches, not centimeters, inches, 2 feet. The length of your forearm to your shoulder and then some. It will reach this size regardless of your tank. The tank does not cap the growth. The growth is determined by genetics, and the genetics say 2 feet. That size, it produces waste at a volume that overwhelms standard home filtration. It uproots plants. It destroys decorations. It consumes oxygen faster than most community fish combined, and it stops eating algae. Around 6 months in, the common Pleco figures out that fish food requires 0 effort compared to scrubbing glass. The algae cleaning you bought it for? It retires from that job and becomes a 2-foot biological liability that most stores will not take back. You did not buy a cleanup crew. You adopted a river monster and were given 6 months to figure that out. F tier. There is a better Pleco. We'll get to it. F tier number 3, the dwarf gourami. This is the most important one. This one is different from the others. The common goldfish is a sizing trap. The Pleco is a growth trap. The dwarf gourami is a disease trap, and it's the one that makes me genuinely angry because the fish itself is stunning and the problem is entirely in the supply chain, not in the animal. Dwarf gourami iridovirus, DGIV, is a viral disease that has swept through the mass production fish farms supplying most of North America's pet stores. Published estimates from aquatic veterinary researchers suggest that somewhere between 22 and 100% of dwarf gouramis in the retail supply chain carry this virus, depending on the source. The fish looks perfect in the store. It looks perfect for weeks at home. It eats well, colors up beautifully. And then, around month 4 to 6, it stops eating, develops bloating, fades, and dies without any external cause you can identify or treat. There is no cure for DGIV. There is no test a hobbyist can run at home. You cannot look at a dwarf gourami in a store tank and know whether it's infected. The tragedy is that every beginner who loses one blames their water, their tank, themselves. They come back and buy another. This is the most expensive F-tier fish on the list, not in purchase price, but in the emotional cost of losing something you loved while having no idea why. F-tier. And there is a direct replacement that carries none of this risk. I'll show you exactly which one. F-tier number 4, the Chinese algae eater. Sold as a peaceful worker fish, and for about 6 months, that's accurate. Then puberty hits. The Chinese algae eater, Gyronocheilus ammonieri, undergoes what can only be described as a personality transplant at maturity. It stops eating algae. It stops being peaceful. It develops territorial aggression and discovers that the slime coat on your other fish is an excellent protein source. It will latch onto the side of your angelfish and graze. Your angelfish will not enjoy this. You hired a janitor and got a vampire with a grudge. The fish isn't broken. It is doing exactly what its biology tells it to do at maturity. The problem is that the label describes the juvenile, not the adult, and nobody tells you that those are two completely different animals. F tier. This fish is a timed personality disaster. D tier. Beautiful liars. Genuinely good fish. Sold to the wrong people at the wrong time. D tier number 1. Neon Tetras. Before the comments fill up, I want to be precise here. Neon Tetras are not bad fish. In a mature, established, stable tank, soft water, consistent parameters, zero ammonia, a school of Neon Tetras is one of the most visually spectacular sights in the freshwater hobby. That electric blue-red stripe under proper lighting is genuinely breathtaking. The problem is not the fish. The problem is the context they're sold into. Neon Tetras require established aquariums, a minimum of 6 to 8 weeks of cycling before introduction, ideally longer. They are highly susceptible to a parasitic condition called neon tetra disease, for which there is no cure and which spreads rapidly through a school. They are among the first fish recommended to beginners and among the last fish that beginners should be buying. A brand new tank with brand new water and a beginner who just got home from PetSmart is the worst possible environment for a neon tetra. The ammonia sensitivity alone means that the nitrogen cycle fluctuations of a new tank can kill them within days. Most beginners blame themselves. The fish was just in the wrong tank at the wrong time. D tier. Intermediate fish wearing a beginner costume. D tier number 2. Bala shark. You're buying this because it has shark in the name. I understand. I respect it. It is objectively the coolest name in the aisle. Here is the reality. The Bala shark, Bulanteocheilus melanopterus, grows to 14 inches and needs to be kept in schools of at least 4. Do the math. 4 fish at 14 inches each requires a minimum 125-gallon tank. They are also one of the most skittish fish in the hobby. Sudden light changes, sudden movement, unexpected vibration, they panic. They launch themselves at full speed into tank walls and lids with enough force to cause genuine injury. PetSmart will sell you a 2-inch baby and watch you walk toward a 10-gallon tank without a word. This fish needs a 6-foot tank, a school of its own kind, and an owner who understands that calm is not this fish's natural setting. D tier. Wrong store, wrong tank, wrong advice. Great fish for someone else. C tier. Needs a smarter owner than the store assumes. C tier number 1, tiger barbs. Colorful, active, energetic, visually gorgeous in a school. Also, fin nippers with zero remorse. Tiger barbs kept in small groups get anxious and redirect that anxiety at every long-finned fish in the tank. Your Betta, your angelfish, your Guppies, anything with flowing fins becomes a target. Kept in groups of 10 or more, they direct that energy at each other instead, and suddenly they're one of the most dynamic and entertaining schooling fish in the hobby. The store sells them in groups of 3, recommends them for community tanks with Bettas. This advice is wrong every single time. C tier, excellent fish. Needs a smarter setup than the store will ever explain. C tier number 2, fancy guppies. Guppies are hardy. Guppies are beautiful. Guppies are peaceful. Guppies are also the only fish in this store that will solve the overpopulation problem you didn't know you had. They are live bearers, meaning they don't lay eggs. They give birth to live fry. Constantly, relentlessly. A single female can store sperm from a previous mating and produce multiple batches of fry without ever meeting another male again. Buy 2 guppies. Have a plan for 50. The other issue is genetics. The extreme fin development bred into fancy guppies has narrowed their gene pool significantly. You'll occasionally see males with curved spines or swimming difficulties, not from your water, but from generations of selective breeding that prioritized appearance over biological function. As a colony kept intentionally, they are nearly self-sustaining and genuinely beautiful. As an impulse buy with no plan for the offspring, they will overwhelm your tank in under 90 days. C tier, great fish, reproductive math, will find you eventually. Tier number 3, bettas in the wrong setup. Let me be clear about something. The betta fish, Betta splendens, is not a C-tier animal. It is one of the most personable, intelligent, and visually extraordinary fish in the freshwater hobby. Bettas recognize their owners. They learn feeding routines. They interact with their environment in ways that no other commonly sold fish does. The reason they're in C-tier is the cup. The industry has built an entire retail model around the idea that bettas thrive in small containers because they have a labyrinth organ that lets them breathe atmospheric air. That is true. It is also one of the most misused biological facts in fish keeping. Yes, bettas can breathe air. That adaptation evolved for oxygen-poor seasonal waters in Thailand, not for permanent residence in an unheated, unfiltered half-gallon cup. Bettas need a minimum 5 gallons, a heater maintaining 76 to 82 degrees, gentle filtration, a proper nitrogen cycle. In that environment, a betta will live 5 to 7 years, develop a relationship with you, and become one of the most rewarding fish you've ever kept. In a bowl, they develop fin rot, bacterial infections, and die within months while their owner wonders what they did wrong. The fish is extraordinary. The way it's sold is the problem. C-tier only because of how the store sells it. The fish itself belongs much higher. All right, we've covered the disasters, the traps, the beautiful liars, and the fish that need smarter owners than the store provides. Here's where I want to stop for a second. Because if you've been watching this tier list and thinking, okay, so which fish can I buy? That question has an answer, a really good one. But before I get there, I want to tell you something that changes how you read every label in that store. The fish that consistently gets the highest recommendation from experienced hobbyists, the one that research on retail fish mortality shows has one of the lowest post-purchase death rates of any commonly sold species. The one that experienced fish keepers quietly buy for tank after tank, year after year, is almost never the fish the employee points you toward. Not because employees are malicious, because that fish doesn't look impressive under fluorescent lighting. It doesn't have a dramatic name. It doesn't make a child scream with excitement. It just lives. And in a hobby where most beginners lose their first fish within 30 days, just lives is the most extraordinary thing a fish can do. I'll reveal that fish in just a moment. If you want to stop the cycle of buying and replacing fish, hit subscribe. Let's build a tank that actually thrives. That's coming, but first, the fish that are genuinely good, but not quite there. B tier, actually solid choices. B tier number 1, Zebra Danios. Zebra Danios have one speed, maximum. Striped silver-blue bodies, constantly in motion, slicing through open water like they've got somewhere to be. They are one of the few fish on this list that genuinely deserves the beginner-friendly label on the tank. Here is why. Danios were the fish used in the original research establishing the nitrogen cycle parameters for home aquariums. Scientists chose them specifically because of how well they tolerate the ammonia and nitrite spikes of a new, uncycled tank. Hardy doesn't cover it. These fish were literally the lab standard for tank cycling research. 64 to 79 degrees, broad pH tolerance, peaceful with similarly sized fish. Around $2.99 at PetSmart. One caveat, they need length, not height. A 20-gallon long over a 20-gallon tall, always. This species is built for horizontal movement and will spend their entire lives trying to swim in a straight line as fast as possible. B tier, one of the most honestly labeled fish in the store. B tier number 2, Corydoras. Every tank needs Corydoras. I'll die on this hill. Peaceful, social, hardy, genuinely useful as substrate workers, without becoming the 2-foot biological disaster the Pleco becomes. But here's the thing the store will not tell you. The gravel they sell right next to the Corydoras will slowly destroy them. Corydoras have barbels, sensory organs around their mouth that they use to locate food in the substrate. Sharp, coarse gravel wears those barbels down over time. Once the barbels are damaged, they become infection sites. The fish stops foraging effectively. Health declines. This is one of the most common preventable causes of Corydoras death in beginner tanks, and it happens because the store sells the fish and the gravel in the same aisle, with no connection between the two. Buy Corydoras, buy sand, not gravel. Keep them in groups of 6, minimum. In those conditions, they will be the most charming animals you've ever kept in a tank. B tier, the fish is wonderful. Ignore the gravel they're standing next to. B tier number 3, Black Neon Tetras. Remember the Neon Tetra? D tier, gorgeous but fragile? The Black Neon Tetra is what the Neon Tetra wants to be when it grows up. Visually similar, a dark body with a bright lateral stripe and a subtle iridescent sheen, but biologically in a completely different category. Black neons tolerate a far broader pH range. They handle the parameter fluctuations of newer tanks with significantly more resilience. They carry none of the DGIV adjacent disease susceptibility of the dwarf gourami and none of the fragility of the neon. They school beautifully. They're peaceful with everything, and they look extraordinary against green plants. 68 to 82 degrees, pH 5.0 to 7.5. Keep at least 8. The schooling behavior in smaller numbers is muted, and you lose half the visual impact. B tier. The neon tetra for people who actually want their fish to live. A tier, the hidden gems. A tier number 1, bristlenose pleco. Earlier, I told you there's a better pleco. This is it. The bristlenose pleco, Ancestris species, maxes out at 4 to 5 inches. Eats algae consistently, without switching careers at 6 months. Produces manageable waste, stays peaceful in community tanks. Develops those wild facial tentacles on males that make it look like a tiny underwater philosopher with opinions. Everything you wanted when you bought the common pleco. 29-gallon minimum, provide driftwood. They need to rasp on it for digestive health, not just for decoration. Around $6.99 at PetSmart. Tank bred, hardy, and genuinely useful. The bottom dweller that actually does the job. A tier. Buy this instead of the common pleco, every time. A tier number 2, Harlequin rasboras. If you want a tank that looks like it was designed by someone who knows exactly what they're doing, get Harlequin rasboras. Copper orange bodies, a distinctive black wedge marking, and in a group of 10 or more moving together through the midwater, they look coordinated in a way that feels almost intentional. Because it is. Harlequin rasboras are obligate schoolers. Their entire behavioral repertoire is built around reading each other's movement. In proper numbers, they don't swim, they flow. 70 to 82 degrees, pH 5.0 to 7.5. Hardy enough for water that isn't perfect. Around $4 at PetSmart. This is the fish that makes a tank look expensive without costing much to build. A tier, wildly underrated, consistently overlooked. A tier number 3, honey gourami. Remember the dwarf gourami? F tier? DGIV? The virus nobody talks about? Here is your replacement, standing right next to it in the tank. The honey gourami, Trichogaster tuna, is a different species with a completely different health profile. No known viral issues endemic to the supply chain. Calm, peaceful, and beautiful. Males develop a deep amber honey coloration when settled that fills the midwater of a planted tank with genuine warmth. Labyrinth breather, appreciates calm flow and a warm air pocket above the waterline. 10 to 20 gallons, 72 to 81 degrees, pH 6.0 to 7.5, around $7.99 at PetSmart. This fish has never started a problem in its life. A tier, the fish you wanted when you picked up the dwarf gourami. Same tank, 2 labels over. S tier, the only perfect beginner fish. S tier, white cloud mountain minnow. Here it is. The fish I promised at the beginning. The one experienced hobbyists buy quietly, year after year. The one almost nobody recommends loudly because it doesn't look impressive under fluorescent lights. The white cloud mountain minnow, Tenichthys albanubis. Let me tell you what this fish is. It was discovered in the mountain streams of Guangdong province in China in 1932. For a period in the 20th century, it was believed to be extinct in the wild, wiped out by pollution and habitat destruction. The fish you see in that store today are almost entirely captive bred, propagated by hobbyists who refuse to let them disappear. That history matters. Because the conditions that fish survived, pollution, habitat loss, temperature extremes, shaped a biology that is essentially beginner-proof. White clouds prefer water between 57 and 72 degrees Fahrenheit. Read that again. They prefer cooler water. They do not need a heater in most American homes. The room temperature that kills tropical fish is the temperature these fish were designed for. Their pH tolerance runs from 6.0 to 8.0, broader than almost anything else on this list. They eat virtually any food. They school peacefully with everything. They do not eat their own fry. They do not nip fins. They do not develop personality disorders at maturity. In groups of 10 or more, their bodies flash silver, olive, and red under any light. A dorsal fin that catches light like a tiny flame. Movement that is constant, calm, and genuinely beautiful in the way that expensive fish are supposed to be beautiful. They cost $2.79 at PetSmart. And here's the part that connects back to everything I said at the beginning of this video. The store does not push white clouds. Not because they're bad fish, because they're not a repeat purchase. A healthy white cloud, in the right environment, lives 4 to 7 years. It doesn't crash. It doesn't get sick from your tap water. It doesn't require the follow-up medications or replacement fish that keep beginners coming back to the store every few months. It just lives. Quietly, beautifully, without drama. In a hobby where the retail model is built around the cycle of purchase, death, and replacement, a fish that breaks that cycle is not the fish the industry has any incentive to put at the front of the list. But it is the fish I'm putting at the top of mine. S tier. The most underrated fish in the entire store. By a school of 10. Don't look back. So, here's what you actually know now. The common goldfish is a 25-year commitment, sold as a 30-cent novelty. The common Pleco is a 2-foot river monster in a 3-inch disguise. The dwarf gourami may be carrying a virus the industry has never adequately addressed. And the Chinese algae eater is going to become something your angelfish deeply regrets sharing a tank with. The neon tetra deserves better water than most beginners can provide. The bala shark deserves a bigger tank than most beginners will ever own. But the zebra danio, the corydoras on sand, the black neon, the bristlenose, the harlequin rasbora, the honey gourami, those fish are sitting in that store right now, waiting, correctly priced, no secret, no trick. And the white cloud mountain minnow is somewhere in that aisle, probably mislabeled, probably overlooked, probably sitting next to something flashier, being the best beginner fish in that entire building. The information was never the problem. The information was just never given to you. It is now. If this saved you from any of the F-tier fish, share it with someone who's about to walk into PetSmart for the first time. Subscribe because the next video goes into the exact beginner tank setup, the one that makes every B, A, and S tier fish on this list actually thrive from day one. Parameters, planting, cycling, the whole thing without the store's advice getting in the way. And drop a comment below, which fish on the F tier have you already bought? Because I want you to know you're not the only one. And now you know better.